It's deprogrammed. My name is Justin, and I'm nobody, according to some people, but I'm somebody to you today. I'm your host, Jack. We're going to be talking about the Gaslight Anthem. And, maybe you do think I'm nobody, but maybe you think I'm somebody. And if you think I'm somebody, if you enjoy this program, the easiest and best way to support me and this program is by going to patreon.com/ohhijustin. $1 a month helps me out a great deal. It helps out my self-esteem, which I've been putting in there lately. I mean, that's not a joke. That's real. It does help my self-esteem. I'm sad that way. It's okay. But look, it helps me in that way. Here's what you get out of it. You get this program 4 full days early. You get your music show podcast. You get the upcoming super secret podcast project. You get #WrestlePals, the Oh Hi Justin Daily Pod. You're the only one who gets it. And then the weekly pod as well. Look, there's so much that comes to you straight to you first through the Patreon, patreon.com/ohhijustin. Just a small way to say thank you for being a patron. Thank you so much. We're talking about the Gaslight Anthem today. And it's funny, we were talking a little bit about this just before we went on. Let me introduce the panel. We've got Elena rejoining us.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
You said this one was really difficult.
It was, yes. Oh my God. That's exactly right. Like the last episode that we recorded, it was so easy, but this time around, I have no idea. Like I had just no clue how many songs I really had a love for this band. So it took me a good bit to whittle down my 20 for sure.
So we're going to be bouncing these around here soon. Joining us for the very first time, and I believe this is the first person to take the listener route in. Ladies and gentlemen, John joining us.
Hey, how's it going, Justin?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm glad you picked me to do this. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, man, I've said a million times, countless times on this show, like if you're listening to this and you want to jump in on an episode, it's easy enough. And all you have to do is reach out, and you reached out, man. Like, I'm excited you're here.
I'm excited to do it.
So let's start with you then, because this got you off the bench. What is it about the Gaslight Anthem that made you go, you know what? I've been listening to this show. I want to get in on this band.
Well, to be honest, I was actually really surprised that you haven't already done this one. So when I saw it on the list of people you needed, people to help out with, I thought, yeah, sure, I can do this because I like the band a lot. I've liked them for a while, and I figured I could contribute something at least.
All right. So, you've been a fan for a while? Is this because I got to be honest, I don't think I was very familiar with the band at all.
Yeah, I think I've been a fan since probably 2009, maybe.
All right. So we've got a good decade of experience here. Now let's swing that over to Elena. Elena, you're the person who put Gaslight Anthem up on the list. And I mean, to be fair, I think this took about a year or more to happen. But tell me about Gaslight Anthem.
I'm of the same sentiment. Like I was kind of shocked that you hadn't covered this band in particular, but it's, what, I was giving some thought again about how I even discovered the band, because that's what we kind of kicked off with last time. And I realized that, do you guys remember Fuse TV? Do you remember that? It was yeah. So I literally was watching that, I think, I don't even know, I want to say 2000, early 2000s, maybe 2004, 2005, something like that. And they were playing, they were just playing a live set on, I think Mark Hoppus had a show or something from Blink-182 on Fuse, and they played The Spirit of Jazz, and I was like, who is this band? They're so fucking good. And I did what I always do when I find new music. I obsess, and I just researched it and just came to find out, that there's band from Jersey, which astounded me because they've got I almost thought they were from the UK. They've just got such a really cool sound. So yeah, that's how I discovered them. And from then on, just been a massive, massive fan of the band and their work.
So I want to put this out there then, because they're from New Jersey, which I didn't get that far in my research. My research is limited to the music.
Mm-hmm.
They're from Jersey. And what's funny is I was trying to put a pin in because they reminded me slightly of Against Me. They were close enough in sound that I could compare the two.
Mm-hmm.
but I was trying to put my finger on what it is like the more like the bigger sound is. And last week we did the Strokes on the show, and I was talking to Slights, and he goes, yeah, they just kind of rip off of it. I mean, he loves the band, but he goes, yeah, they kind of rip off, like, jokingly, Springsteen. I was like, oh my god, yes, yeah. Like, okay, it's obviously not apples to apples, but
well,
very influenced.
Well, very influenced, and oddly enough, like there's an interview that I came across, and oh my gosh, yeah, they are like Brian Fallon, who's the singer of the band. He's been noted as like his major influences for the band. Like Springsteen was massive to him, like growing up, because they're both from Jersey, obviously,
right.
And the Replacements actually are a huge influence.
Too. Absolutely.
Yeah, like even Bob Dylan. I mean, his mother actually was a folk singer. Brian Fallon's mom was a folk singer, I think, when he was young. I think I caught that on an interview one time. And yeah, but like the big kickoff for the band too is that Springsteen gave them a shout out at some point in their career and was like, this band's killer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which was massive and kind of I think, gave them that next step up.
Well, go ahead, John.
I was gonna say, yeah, I see why people would say that, and there's definitely a Springsteen influence in Brian Fallon's writing. But, when Springsteen first came out, people thought he was a Bob Dylan ripoff.
Yeah.
But I think that all of this is just like part of a larger like continuum of music. Like Gaslight Anthem is kind of a throwback band in a way, just like Springsteen was a throwback for his time back to like what original rock and roll was kind of. So I think that that's why people think that, because, they have this continuous line of like, heartfelt rock and roll songs that go all the way back to the beginning. But yeah, there's no doubt that Fallon was influenced by Springsteen for sure. I mean, you can tell it in his lyrics, definitely, but I wouldn't say that it's a rip-off of any kind.
No, absolutely not. But to continue on that thread, though, John, one of the first things I thought listening to Gaslight Anthem, and this is silly, but it goes hand in hand with what you were just saying. Blue jeans, white T-shirts, and cigs in your sleeve. Like, seriously, like, just throwback. And, I mean, obviously it's slightly modernized as far as the guitar sounds and how loud it is. But, yeah, it's straight up and down rock and roll.
Yeah. It is, but their roots are like, that's the cool thing. I mean, I guess the comparison, if you think of like Against Me, like you were saying that a bit earlier, it's sort of like that throwback, but it's still like rooted in punk rock too. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But at the core of it, for sure, like his, and I shouldn't say his, I mean, obviously it's a collective of people that like are making that sound, you know what I mean? But like Brian Fallon, as far as like a lyricist, is definitely a throwback and almost like really it's like poetry. If you really sit and listen to the lyrics, it's just poetry set to music. And I feel like, I mean, he needs to write a book or something, man, because like he's just such a wordsmith. It's pretty impressive, so
I wish I would have had at least one more go through with my 20, just to have gotten better intimate with the song or with the lyrics. Almost always I'm going to be drawn to the music first, lyrics second, as long as the vocals aren't like something I shut off. I mean, that happens. It's rare nowadays, but it does happen. But I could see that like coming around on my second and even my third turn through the cuts. I could tell that there's lyrics here that mean something to him, and sometimes that's in the performance as well. But yeah, like definitely some poetry going on here.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm such a nerd, like self-professed nerd when it comes to music. So it's like I've watched, if I'm into a band, like I'll watch interviews, I'll, catch live stuff on YouTube. I'll just watch and listen and really almost kind of dissect, when I'm excited about a band. And yeah, like his influences are so far and wide. I mean, outside of Springsteen, I mean, like I was saying, Bob Dylan, The Replacements. I mean, you name it, like it's there. And he's incredibly thoughtful, I think is a good way to say it, and how he approaches his songwriting and even just the music. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like just an artist to the core, like just artistry. It's pretty freaking amazing.
So, John, being that this is your first time on Deprogrammed, I'm gonna put you on the fire here. Walk me through putting your first 20 together for this band.
It was way harder than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
My first 20 ended up being like 40.
Yep.
And then whittling that down, it was rough. I mean, like, I can't remember exactly when we first started talking about doing this, but I started that day putting this list together, and I finished like 2 days ago.
Same, actually.
So I finally got it down to 20 plus like 2, I guess. So, 2 alternates that I don't count as part of my 20, but yeah.
The just in cases.
Exactly.
All right, Elena.
As far as putting my list together, oh man, it kind of the same thing. I feel like my first draft was about 35.
Exactly same.
Yeah, and that was intense. Like it was super intense. And then going back and editing it even further, like some of the cuts, man, like it cut me personally. Like I was like, oh my God, like I love this song. Like I can't believe I have to cut it off this list, because I want, the whole point of the show is to like, let other listeners kind of give them that list of a starter kit, as you'd say, right? And so there's so many good first songs that as a fan I'd want people to hear. Like it was just it's a little painful, Justin. I can't lie.
And so, I said this off air. Welcome to my world.
But I have my 20, so I'm down to my 20. It was tough, but I did it.
Like I said off air, though, like welcome to my world. That's me every week. Like,
right.
So going through this, I knew I was in for trouble because from jump, I push play, and by the time I'm into the second album, I've already got like 12, 13 songs. I'm like, this is gonna be an issue. I had 35 in my first go around, and after my second go around, I think I had 33. I was like, these cuts were, like you said, brutal. But I mean, I think ultimately, and I hate throwing this one out there because it seems kind of passé, but I don't think there's a wrong 10 we can offer people.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, it's so funny to me. Like, I guess, I don't want to keep comparing, but I feel like if there are 2 bands, quite honestly, like on a top 10 for myself, like Against Me is there, and then the Gaslight Anthem is like right there. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's almost the same love for the band is the consistent body of work that they produce. Like, their earlier work compared to like, a recent album, to me, like it's just as good. Like there's not a lot of filler, as you would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are complete albums.
Yeah. So it's just not a lot of filler and so freaking consistent. Like just consistent and tight and good. I mean, they're such a good band. So yeah, I think that's why it was hard to get that list together for sure.
I hate coming back to consistent because like the last couple weeks, I feel like that's the one I'm putting out. Now, the most consistent band I've done is Reverend Horton Heat, because that's 11 albums of just straight up.
Nice.
It's the same. It's consistent. But yeah, like these guys live in that this is our sound. They don't stray too much from it. They do just enough to keep you interested, and they do what they do really, really well. So with that being said, the name of the game is Deprogrammed. The 3 of us have each gone through, I think it was 5 albums, 64 songs, plucked out 20 that we're now going to bounce off of each other in an attempt to put together a top 10 starter kit for you to listen to on the other end of it. In case, like me, you had Gaslight Anthem was nowhere on your radar. So I'm going to go right from jump because this is when I knew I was in trouble. Boomboxes and dictionaries.
I cut that one.
All right.
Yeah, I did too.
Damn. Yeah.
Talk about introductions to the band. Like you firmly know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Right from the second you push play. But of course, I'm clearly wrong here. So, Elena?
Uh, you know what? I am going to say my first one. That I would say "Where for Art Thou, Elvis" was my first,
See,
and that was off of. Did you guys include that? It's like
I don't think so.
Senor and no.
Nope.
So no, that I didn't pick anything off that because that wasn't part of the list. But there are songs on there that I would have picked had it been part of the list.
Well, that was my go-to.
Well, that's all right.
So-
Though that's what this show is, because I feel like we won't have a problem getting to our 10 though.
No, I don't think so.
So I will just type that one into the trash just in case we need it.
Yep.
All right, John.
All right. I'm gonna put out "Old White Lincoln."
Oh my God.
Yes.
Okay, I don't. Thank God you guys do. Like, there's going to be a lot of that because there was cuts that I was like, I don't want to, but I have to.
Yeah,
And
I had a
one.
hard time with the 50, like that album. Like I could have kept everything on that record, to be quite honest. Yeah,
sure.
that was a hard one to even cut anything from.
So on that thread then, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to just go to the time. This band must be like super underground because usually I get 2 or 3 responses. Only got 1 response, and this was it. The 59 Sound.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, they're actually not. I mean, I guess my stratosphere. I mean, they're pretty massive. So I don't know. I feel like they're a pretty big band. John, you? What do you think?
I think they're pretty big, but maybe not as big as they used to be because they've taken a lot of time off. So they're like one of those bands that, they've taken, I don't know, at least 3 or 4 years off until they did that past tour this past year.
Yeah.
So I think maybe they're not as big as they used to be. But yeah, I mean, I don't really follow like what's big and what's not, but to me, they're a huge band,
Well, because Brian Fallon, and I don't know if you know this, Justin, but Brian Fallon did a lot of his put out a couple solo projects, and as did their drummer too, right? Like he's in a band called Mercy Union, and so they're doing some side projects, which I think is good. I think that that sparks inspiration when they kind of collectively come back together and record. But yeah, so that's a true statement too. I mean, I guess they have taken some time off, but I think they're pretty big.
Yeah, I would agree. I would think they were. If you were going to ask me, I would say they're a huge band.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's all a matter of perspective, really.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm gonna put that out there though. The 59 Sound. That's my play.
Yes.
I have it.
Me too. Absolutely.
All right. So that's unanimous.
Yeah, that's like the Gaslight Anthem song. Like I don't, that kind of has to be on it. I think.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, and so it is. There we go. All right, Elena.
I'll stick to the 59 Sound album, and Great Expectations is my pick.
I have that one as well.
Okay, good. Because my stupid reason, I recently wrote a song called Great Expectations. I was like, well, like I wrote a song called that. I might as well cut it. I mean, I was looking for any reason, so. But it moves into the convo, so that's good.
That's a great song.
John?
All right. Meet Me by the River.
I do not have that.
No, I don't either.
Very well.
Pretty sure that did make my initial. Wait a second. Did it make it? Maybe it's more towards the bottom. I remember listening to it. I remember it being on my initial cut. No, it's not there, but it's also not over here, so I'm not worried about it. All right, so it's my turn?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to go out here on the limb because Get Hurt, the album, I thought was, you mentioned the Replacements earlier, was where they kind of really stretched their legs, where they were like, you know what, let's kind of push the boundaries of what this band is. And, I mean, there's plenty of stuff that sounds like your traditional Gaslight Anthem, but this song specifically does not. Get Hurt.
Oh, yes, absolutely. That such an easy pick. It's such a good song. And you're right. Like I remember when that album came out, and it was just it is a little bit dark, right? Like,
Yeah, a
I
little,
don't know
yeah.
what they had going on personally, but yeah, it's just very instrumental in a lot of parts, and just the lyrics are just kind of dark but pretty, like beautifully dark.
Very,
You know what I mean?
yes. Like
Yeah.
this song specifically, I came to get hurt, and just like that, the sound that echoes it, you could hear like almost like a background lyric going there, and it's
Hmm.
beautiful.
It is.
Are we out here on our own, John?
Um, no. I'm sorry. I have it too. Sorry, I
Oh,
apologize for
sweet.
that.
That's two. All right. I thought I was going way out on a limb there. All right, Elena.
Well, I'm gonna stick to that record, and Underneath the Ground from that record as well was a pick that I had.
I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't have that either. It was a tough cut though.
Wow, yeah, it's a good song.
Dang, like I purposefully pulled less from that album, even though for me it was hands down my favorite. Even though I picked,
Really?
yeah, well, I picked less of it because to me it didn't sound like I said earlier, like a quote unquote traditional Gaslight
Mm,
Anthem album. So,
yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
John.
Oh, my turn. I will move away from that album and go to Sink or Swim for Wooderson.
Oh my God, that one's good too.
I cut that one. I love that song, but I did cut it.
We're gonna have a lot of that, I think. A lot of.
Mark that one off.
All right, so back to me. There's me by the river. All right. All right. Let's see. Which one do I want to go here? Um, let's go with Blue Dahlia.
I don't have that one.
I don't either.
Okay. Taking chances. Swings and misses. All right, Elena.
I'm gonna go with the first song that I ever heard, which was The Spirit of Jazz. And I was so pumped to hear that song. So that was absolutely my introduction, and I love it. So The Spirit of Jazz off of American Slang.
I don't. Nope, nope, nope. But that definitely made my first round.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great song, but I don't have it either.
Ah,
See, I think this is one of those bands where like if I would have done my second cut a
mhm.
day later, like I would have different songs. So I mean, it's a good indication of how good the band is, but it also makes doing this show very very difficult.
Well, you know what I found too? Like I would listen to I would listen to albums at different times, of the day, or like just at different like just different day to day basically. And I would find like a lot of the times I'd be like driving home listening to records, and because I get about an hour drive home, so it's a good time to just blast it loud and really listen. And yeah, from day to day, I don't know, with my mood, sometimes I cut things based on that even.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's so subjective, and visceral at times in choosing. So, but yeah,
All
it's a
right,
good process.
John.
So I'm gonna put out a song that. So I feel like he has a way of writing songs that he could have written about me. You know, what I mean, I can
Okay.
Mhm.
really relate to everything that he's saying. He sometimes explains my mind even better than I can explain it myself. So I'm going to put out Even Cowgirls Get the Blues.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, wow. I don't have that one. Mm-mm.
It's in the combo. It's in the combo right now. So I mean, I feel like we're gonna be fine, but I need to put it out there. NTP may come into play here, and if it does, the NTP is each of us get to pull one of our own songs out of the trash and one of either of the other panel members' songs out of the trash, and then so that'll bring 6 songs back into the conversation. That'll help us mold the 10 in case we need it. Hopefully, we don't. All right, let me bounce out here. Old Haunts.
Oh man, that's a good one. I don't have that one though.
Yeah, I don't either.
That's a
Man,
that's a great song though, Justin, for sure.
feeling feeling like I'm out here on my own.
Well, I think what's so great about it, at least for the last 2 episodes that I recorded with you, like these are new bands to you,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of exciting as a fan who's listened to them for a long time to hear your take on it and hear like what excites you. Yeah, because those are the songs that you think that other people should hear, like that are important, you know, as a sort of an education to the band. So it's interesting to see what you come up with. It's kind
Yeah, I
of cool.
thought that too. Oh, sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt you. I thought that too because I feel like a hard thing for me for this list was like I didn't want to cut songs just because I've heard them a million times.
Mm-hmm.
Like like I've heard the 59 sound live so many times that if I never heard it again, it would be okay. But I felt like it was important enough to put in the list, so I tried. So it's easier for Justin to pick songs because he hasn't seen them a million times and heard these songs a million times. So that's really interesting that the songs that you're picking.
Yeah. I don't have the emotional attachment. This is all like, and to be honest, putting my 2020 together, like I'm trying to frame up a certain sound. Again, like something that I think is going to bring in somebody who's never heard them before, and again, like the ones that just kind of stood out to me. So
that's interesting. Well, it's interesting just what you had said about like you don't really have an emotional attachment to the songs, like you're listening to it from a different perspective, right? And I think that's the thing when I was going through it, like every song that I picked, I was like, oh man, like I can remember what I was going through that day or like that time in my life. Like it's such a soundtrack, to what was going on. So I think, yeah, it's funny. And I feel like that's the attachment that I want everyone else to feel. I'm like, I'm excited, therefore you should be excited, about the songs that I'm picking. So that's an interesting take on it.
Well, I also want to point out that I think that's what makes this show unique is
Mm-hmm.
that I'm here as, we'll say, unbiased,
Mm-hmm.
but to bounce that off of a biased listener, and then on top of that, I do want to add, I could there was some of these songs that did draw me in emotionally on first listen, and
Yeah.
that is saying something for a new listen.
Mm-hmm. You know what I was thinking too, I was like, I thought about this the other day, because generally, like the guests that you have on your show are like John's obviously came on board as a listener. I know you outside of Deprogrammed, and so it's kind of like just I would, for lack of a better way of saying it, just like average people, right? Like that are guests on the show.
Uh-huh.
I was like, man, it'd be really cool to bring on board like people in bands that have some direct connection or have played with that band, you know what I mean? And get their top 20 and see,
I've
that'd be
been dying to I mean the closest I got, we did Super Drag in the first year, and it was a full-on Discovery episode, and I was able to reach the initial bass player from Super Drag, and I bounced the 10 that we came up with off of him, and it was fascinating hearing him go, wow, you guys picked that song, and like he was like, yeah, definitely that song, and it was an awesome experience, and I've been trying to do it. We're getting way off here, but we did no, it's fine. We did Fozzy recently, and I've been trying to get Chris Jericho to like at least, I want to bounce the list off him just to see what he thinks. But yeah, like I've been dying to get that kind of perspective on at least the final list. Maybe afterwards I'll reach out to the band and see if somebody wants to talk to me for a minute.
Well, I have a few direct lines to certain people. Maybe we can collab and figure that out. That'd be kind of cool.
I think so too.
Nice. Anyway, back on track.
back to the game. Elena, I believe it is your turn. Yeah, because I bounced out.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna stick to I guess to Handwritten. And that title track is like the lyrics just speak to my soul in that one. So that's my next pick.
Oh,
really
breaking my heart here.
Yeah, I cut that one too.
Oh boy, it's good. It's a good song.
I mean, I think we can say that about just about everything here. So
I know. I think I do. I apologize. Like every song, I'm like, no, it's like Homer Simpson moment.
I mean, I'm looking at one in my master list here, and I'm like, man, I didn't pick that one. Great. So, all right, John.
All right, since everybody's kind of crashed out on that last round, I'll go out on a limb here. go to their middle part of their career to American Slang and Bring It On.
I got it.
Oh,
Wow.
I cut that one.
I mean, it's at the very bottom of my list, so I'm not sure what it. When I think about it now, I'm not sure what it was that pulled it through, but I got it. All right, let's stay right there on that album, though. How about Orphans?
No,
I cut that one.
Okay.
At the last minute.
Okay. All right, Elena.
I guess I'll stick with that record as well, and the Queen of Lower Chelsea.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I cut that one too.
Same. Let me find it. John.
All right. Let's see. Let's go back to Get Hurt since we're talking about sad things, and I will put out Break Your Heart.
Oh yeah, I got it.
It's not on my list.
We talked about really pushing the limits of what a Gaslight song can be, and I mean there are acoustic songs before that for sure, and I had them at one point, but when I heard this one, I was like, nah, man, if I'm putting forth an acoustic song, this is the one. Because it's sad. It's gorgeous and sad.
Yeah, beautifully sad. Absolutely.
All right. How about I put this one? You know what? We haven't had much luck on the first album. We Came to Dance.
I don't have it.
I cut that one.
All right.
I cut a lot of the first album to make room for Get Hurt because I really like Get Hurt a lot now.
Oh man, these are things I wish I would have known like 2 days ago. Because seriously, there's a lot I could have pulled from that album. All right, Elena.
I'm gonna stick with Get Hurt, and Rollin' and Tumblin' for me is like a killer. It's just a killer track. Like it was their single, I think, when they put out the album, first single, I should say, and it's just gritty and good. It's good.
I don't have it.
I don't have that one.
Wow, man.
All right, so I mean, I still have plenty of songs here, but just pointing out, we have 2 through all the way, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the combo.
Wow.
So just be thinking of New Trash Protocol just in case you need it. All right.
Word.
Let's see, John. It is your turn, sir.
It is my turn. I will put out 1930.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
I got it. Again, that's one of the ones that's like more, I guess it's lower metal, but it made it through. Let me trot this one out. I've been looking at it and avoiding it. Mulholland Drive.
Yes.
No, I cut that one.
Ugh. The lyrics, man. That's a great one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, one more and New Trash Protocol is out the window. All right, Elena.
I'm gonna stick to that record as well, and Teenage Rebellion.
Oh, nope.
I don't have it either.
Nope.
Damn.
Wait a second.
All right. My turn. I will put out Dark Places.
I have that one.
You do?
I do.
Where is that?
It's on
It's on Get Hurt.
Get Hurt.
Okay. Good. We'll plop that one over to the conversation. I don't have it. All right, we'll stay with Get Hurt. And although this one fits nicer into the Gaslight pocket, I think, it also exactly told me that I should expect something different here. Stay Vicious.
I have it.
Yes.
I don't.
Ooh, it's so big. It's like if you want to, I think the word I'd use, even though it's not necessarily precise, compact, right? So like if the rest of their discography is kind of compact into this like little pocket, Stay Vicious is like the very meaning of, all right, I'm going to just spread this out a little, stretch, and just expect something different here. And like I said, it's close enough to what a Gaslight song sounds like, but it also kind of spreads what you can expect for the album. I may have just repeated myself a bunch there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like it starts off with like kind of I mean, it doesn't have that just 4-chord rock and roll sound like they had up until that point. It kind of starts off with almost like sounds like it might be down tuned a little bit, almost like a stoner rock kind of riff. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Groove a little. All right, Elena.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go back to the 59 sound and film noir.
Ooh, nope.
Yeah, that was a really hard cut, but it's a cut.
All right, I do believe at this point we are out of NTP. Let me make sure.
Awesome.
I mean, that means worst case scenario, everything in our conversation moves through. If we missed, yeah, we're out of it. So we actually even have to make at least a cut. So well, you never know. You never know. Let me bounce this one out here. Too much blood.
I don't have that one.
Me either.
Okay.
Justin.
Elena?
Let's see. Well, I'll stick to handwritten and Here Comes My Man.
I thought I had that one.
I don't have that one.
No, I guess I don't. I thought I did, but I guess I don't. That was clearly one of the ones that made it through my initial cut. All right, John?
All right. I'm going to put one out there that I'm sure everybody has. Backseat.
I do not.
Wow.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
Neither do I. I couldn't tell you why. I honestly couldn't. There it is. All right. I have, just for reference, 6 left.
6. Yeah, I have 6 as well.
Okay, so we're all roughly the same. All right, well, I'll toss it out here. American slang.
I have that one.
Blam.
I cut that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We are gonna have a decent little combo here too. So now's the time for misses. We are A-okay.
Okay.
The stress has been. Justin is A-okay with misses now. All right, Elena.
So off of Sink or Swim, Angry Johnny and the Radio.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't have that one either.
That first album's difficult because it really is a pick or choose album, I feel.
Yeah.
All right, John?
All right, I'm going to put one out here that also speaks to me directly, or maybe not the way I am now, but the way I have been. And it's kind of hard for me to actually listen to. So I'm going to put it out there. It's called Here's Looking at You, Kid.
I got it.
Oh, I don't have that one.
I got it, though. I got it.
That was a late cut for me, though.
I got it in... I almost cut it. I did, second time around. But, I was like, it's different enough to where, maybe somebody else has it. So,
yeah.
There we go. Lucky me. All right, I'm down to my last 4 here. How about... You know what? I'm going to go ahead and clear out 59 Sound. This is my last one from it. High Lonesome.
I have that one.
Yeah, I don't have that.
All right. Elena?
I am going to say I'm going to go back to Get Hurt. And I don't know if anyone had mentioned this, but Underneath the Ground.
You played that one already.
We did.
Yep, you did.
Oh, I did.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I apologize.
No, that happens.
It does. I know. I've got my list here. All right, and Dark Places. Have we done that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I think I rounded out that list then. All right, then I will go back to American slang, and I'm going to finish that list for me. We Did It When We Were Young.
I have that one.
All right. I do not, but that's okay. All right, John?
All right. Where to go? Let's go back to Get Hurt, I guess, for 1,000 Years.
Nope. I don't have it.
Nope. All right. Speaking of cleaning out, I'll clean out my handwritten here. Biloxi Parish.
Oh, no, I don't have it. That was a late cut for me.
See, this is one of the few that a lyric kept it around because I want to say it's I'll wait here in the dark with you, so you don't have to wait alone, or I'll go through the
Yeah.
dark or something. I was like, ooh, that is good. So
You know, it's so funny when I discovered, like, when I was really listening to that record, I actually lived in Biloxi. So it's
oh,
like, yeah, so it's so funny, like that sound to me. And I don't know if it's like completely subjective from where I was living at the time, but like the lyrics and everything, it's just like, man, it makes me think of like the Gulf Coast, like New Orleans to Biloxi to Gulfport, like that area. So it's even as, yeah, the lyrics were pretty purposeful and true to that area and whatever he was thinking about at that time, I guess.
all right. So I'm down to my last two here, but Elena, it is your turn.
Oh, geez, I feel like I'm like, well, I put in that one album that I think I'm just gonna throw those out there. Blue jeans and white t-shirts, which are kind of,
Ah,
yeah.
I don't have it.
So
But yeah.
I would have picked that, but it's on that EP that wasn't included.
Yes, exactly.
I think that song, if we don't need an extra one, but if we needed an extra one, I think that song should go in because I definitely would have picked it.
It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
That's funny that they have a song called that. And what did I say?
I know. That's why I was like kind of giggled when I said that because I was like, yeah, that's totally how you referenced it. And that's so perfect.
All right, John.
All right, I'll go ahead and throw this out. Quote 45 unquote.
No.
Nope.
Nah, I didn't think so.
All right. And that brings me to, like I said, my last two. We're getting a divorce. You keep the diner.
It's such a great title.
Yeah.
That is not on my list.
Yeah, it's a great song, but it didn't make my cut either.
All right, Ellen.
Excuse me. And forgive me if this is redundant. Where's my list here? Teenage Rebellion. Did I already say that?
Yeah, you put that one out there.
I did.
Yep.
Oh, done.
You might be at the end here because
I think I might. Yeah. Handwritten. Forgive me. I think I am.
okay.
Unless High Lonesome. That may be the last one that I can see on my list.
It's in the combo.
It's in there, yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm good. I think I'm good.
All right, John, what you got?
How about Diamond Church Street Choir?
Ooh, I don't have it. It definitely made my first one though. And just to clear out, my last one was I Could Have Been a Contender.
Oh, that is such a great track.
I cut it, but it's a great track.
It's
Yeah,
a great
same.
1-2 punch there. All right, so you know what? We are in good shape here though, because we got two through the 59 Sound and Get Hurt. And in the combo, let me see what we got here first. 13. So we need to trim 13 down to 8. And the songs are Old White Lincoln, Great Expectations, High Lonesome, Here's Looking at You, Kid, We Did It When We Were Young, Bring It On, American Slang, 1930, Mulholland Drive, Stay Vicious, Dark Places, Even Cowgirls Get the Blues, and Break Your Heart. Now, I'm going to put this out here. The only thing from the first album is 1930. And while I don't think it's necessarily needed to have representation from every album, the fact that that is the only thing from the album that hit at least two of us says something to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how you guys feel about pushing 1930 through, but I just wanted that to be out there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think something from that first album should be on there. Because otherwise we would only have songs from 3 of the 5.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I think it was what, me and you, John? So,
yeah.
Elena, are you okay with putting that through?
I am.
Okay, all right.
I think that's a good, yeah, just to have a good cohesive representation.
There we go. All right, so that gives us 3. We need to get 7. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the 59 Sound. I think it's safe to say we liked the 59 Sound.
I would say so.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like their Appetite for Destruction kind of. You know, you could pick anything from that and it would kind of define who they are in a way.
Well, absolutely. I mean, they toured on that, right? Like they had a whole tour that they did just playing that album. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
that was their last tour.
For sure.
The anniversary tour.
Right. So obviously they, yeah.
So if we already have one through from that album, what do you think? Maybe two more?
I would say yes.
All right, so then
Yeah, and a list of 10, I think 2 more would be plenty.
Okay, so then let's do this album first. So the 5 from that are Old White Lincoln, Great Expectations, High Lonesome, Even Cowgirls Get the Blues, and Here's Looking at You, Kid. Which the first two I didn't have Old White Lincoln or Great Expectations, but both of them made my first cut. So
wow. Well, it's funny that you say that, because those two would definitely be, those would be the two that I would definitely pick. And I know that those are my choices, but those went through in the first and second rounds for me. Like they're a pretty consistent pick for me.
How are you feeling, John?
I'm sorry. Wait, what were the 2 songs again? Sorry.
Old White Lincoln and Great Expectations. Those are the 2 I didn't have, but they made my first cut.
And you were talking about pushing them both through?
Well,
me?
Well, really, we're bouncing which ones go through.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I mean, I would be okay with either one of them going through. So, I mean, I like Old White Lincoln better, but I you know,
so
I would be okay with either one going through.
So you're saying one or the other?
My pick would be Great Expectations if I had to pick one of the 2.
And I'd pick the other one.
Yeah. Stop being so difficult, John.
Well, then let's do this. Let's make some cuts. High Lonesome, Even Cowgirls Get the Blues, Here's Looking at You, Kid. We got to lose one. Try to make this a little easier.
High Lonesome, I'd say I'd be okay with color.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. All right.
Go team.
And now that leaves us with these 4. Old White Lincoln, Great Expectations, Even Cowgirls Get the Blues, Here's Looking at You, Kid. I mean, are we still looking at Old White Lincoln, Great Expectations being the top 2?
No. I mean, I'd be okay with Old White Lincoln getting cut. I think those other tracks are probably better choices. But it is a good damn song.
Yeah.
So, at this point, lose Old White Lincoln?
And that would leave us with Great Expectations, Here's Looking at You, Kid, and we did it when we were,
Even Cowgirls Get the Blues.
Even Cowgirls Get the Blues.
Right.
I mean, I'm okay with that, I guess.
All right. So, one has to go. Great Expectations, Even Cowgirls Get the Blues, Here's Looking at You, Kid. Sounds like Great Expectations in, so it sounds like the conversation's Cowgirls versus Looking at You, Kid. Now I know
I would agree with that. I think those 2 songs are very similar, and you could easily cut one of them.
Right.
So which one? I mean, I'm imagining them in my head now. You know what? I don't know. I give myself a little. Actually, you know what? We'll come back to that because that's the conversation for the rest of that album. We have 3 from American Slang. Mm-hmm. It's We Did It When We Were Young, Bring It On, American Slang. Right?
Yeah, I think we should cut 2 of those.
Yeah. So, for me, the only one I didn't have was We Did It When We Were Young. For some reason, that one's not sticking out right now.
I'd be okay. I mean, that was on my list, but I think as a list, a total list of their stuff, I would let that go.
So would I. I think it sounds too much like the 2 songs on 59 Sound that we're talking about.
Right.
Fair. That's a fair statement.
All right. Also, at this point, just putting this out here, the only thing still left from Handwritten is Mulholland Drive.
Oh.
So I feel like that should probably go through.
I agree. And that's a great fucking track, man. I love that song so much.
I would agree with the 2 of you. I mean, to be honest with you, and I apologize if anybody from this band's listening, but I feel like Handwritten is a pretty disposable album.
Oh.
And it could or could not be in their discography at all. I mean, it's not bad. It's just the same thing. It's just,
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, sure. I think we should push something through from it for sure.
Well, I don't know, like, because that record for me is pretty huge. Like Handwritten and Mulholland Drive. If I had to pick even 2 tracks off that record, those would be the 2. But I just think lyrically, I think Mulholland Drive is a great song.
Yeah, and Keepsake from that album almost made my list. It was like track 22.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we've already got Get Hurt through from Get Hurt, and we have 3 left. Stay Vicious, Dark Places, Break Your Heart. I almost feel like Break Your Heart just because it's the acoustic song, so it's because it sounds different. But like I've got a lot of love for Stay Vicious, so like.
I mean, I think my pick was like Dark Places.
Right.
Stay So it was Stay Vicious, Dark Places, and what was the third?
Break Your Heart.
Break Your Heart. Man, oh, those are tough ones for me.
Yeah. Well, again, like that album, I don't want to say surprisingly good, surprisingly different. You know what I mean? Like really stretching the legs of what the band can do.
Yeah.
I wish I had known that you guys felt that way.
I'm going to have to stick with Dark Places if those are the 3 for me personally. And I guess that's the thing with these records. Like for me, a lot of it comes down to the lyrics, and which is crazy because last time I did this, it was more of like the feely feels. So yeah, I'll say Dark Places as my pick.
All right. So I think that was you two that had it.
Yeah, I would agree with that, I guess. Yeah, that's good.
All right. So let's put that through. So that gives us a total of 6, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. We already decided that one of Even Cowgirls or Here's Looking at You Kid is going through. So we need 3 out of these 4. Bring It On, American Slang, Stay Vicious, Break Your Heart. So which one's the disposable one there?
Can you repeat the list real quick?
Bring It On, American Slang, Stay Vicious, Break Your Heart.
I would say American Slang, to be honest.
You know what? Oh, it kills me to say this, but you know what? I'll agree with John.
American Slang's the one that goes?
Yeah.
I'm glad it kills you to agree with me.
Well, again, I said this at the beginning, and like I haven't said it a lot lately, but I do say it a lot on the show. I really don't think there's a wrong 10 we can offer here.
No,
I agree.
Yeah, it's subjective, but it's so fantastic to sort of pair people together that have such a, well, either have a real love for the band, you know, or just someone completely discovering the band for the first time. Right. It's such a great concept, Justin. So thank you for even thinking of this and putting it out into the stratosphere, because
it's a great show, great idea.
It is. It's so good.
Oh, stop with the praise. Oh, please stop. Right,
I know, we're making them blush, John.
But you really are. So here's the final showdown. I hope you guys have been thinking about it, because the last one in is either Even Cowgirls Get the Blues or Here's Looking at You Kid. Are we leaning one way or the other?
I would say Here's Looking at You Kid, I would put through.
Okay. I like that. How do you feel about it, John?
I'm fine with that.
All right.
Collective sigh.
I mean, those last 2 songs are kind of like a Sophie's choice for me. Like, it's hard for me to pick. I gotta let one of the kids die, and you know, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine with me.
So, looking at our list, we really loved the 59 sound, and we really loved Get Hurt. So,
wow.
I'll bounce these 10 off you. The 59 sound, Great Expectations, Here's Looking at You Kid, Bring It On, Stay Vicious, Break Your Heart, Get Hurt, Dark Places, 1930, and Mulholland Drive. That's our 10.
Wow.
All right.
That's surprising.
It's a good 10, though. I mean,
it's a fantastic 10, but it's like, I'm surprised. I guess I'm not surprised. It's a great list. That's a great list.
Yeah, it's a really good list. I am a little surprised myself. Like, I thought that I would have to fight to keep 59 sound songs off of it, but that's not how that turned out. So I think it worked out really well.
All right, so that brings us to the final part of our discussion. Elena, I'm putting you on the fire here. What's the song? Which is the one that the number one with a bullet?
God, man, off that whole
out of
You
those
know
10.
what?
Yeah.
I think it was kind of brought up earlier. I would just say the 59 sound. I mean, if there's one song that you want a new fan to listen to and kind of get a sense of the band, that's it. You know what I mean?
How are you feeling, John?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think that that's what they sound like in a capsule. Like if you want to
Mm-hmm.
encapsulate what they sound like, that's what it is.
Alrighty, there we go. 59 sound it
Nice.
is. So I'm going to run these 10 down one last time. 59 sound, Great Expectations. Here's Looking at You, Kid. Bring It On. Stay Vicious. I'm so glad that got in. Break Your Heart. I was really worried. Get Heart, Dark Places, 1930, and Mulholland Drive. That's a solid 10.
Dude.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you never know how it's going to bounce around. And you could get hurt. I could get hurt if you don't go to patreon.com/ohhijustin. $1 a month would greatly be appreciated by me and all those around me because, I've got kind of a fragile ego going on here. But look, sure, I get a little ego stroke from it, but you get a lot of content from it. And I'm not going to list it here because I already did it at the beginning, but there's more content coming too. So I just want that to be out there. Your dollar gets you a lot. It helps me a lot. You get a lot out of it. So $1 a month, patreon.com/ohhijustin. I'd be greatly appreciative of you for doing that. So Elena, I know you threw Run the Jewels out there. That's another band that's been out there. Like
Oh my
nobody's
gosh,
hopped on it yet.
Justin, I don't mean to interrupt you, but like if you want to get me fired up and excited about something, I'm so pumped about them. Like, yeah. And I feel like a lot of the episodes that I've heard have been like punk bands or rock music or, more of like that alternative, scope of bands. And
Mhm.
I think I shared with you, and I won't be too long-winded, but I was fortunate enough to see them at the Norva a couple years ago. And dude, like it blew my mind. Like it was like being at a punk show, but it's like rap and just, oh man, I cannot say enough about how amazing the sound is and just Killer Mike and LP and the whole gang that can, make that up is just so fucking amazing. So
So
yeah.
we'll see. It's out there. We'll see if
Oh,
anybody hops on.
okay.
But John, you also put yourself up for, let's see, Kendrick Lamar, Fugazi. Like you put yourself out there
Ooh.
for some stuff too.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Hopefully, I'll get picked for one of the other ones. But yeah, Fugazi is going to be great.
John, oh man, that's exciting, Justin. I didn't realize that was up there.
Yeah.
I'd be down to do that, man. I actually got to photograph them back in the 90s, which
Oh.
was a late in the game. Yes, yeah. I've been a fan for a long, long, long time of just Discord records and the band. So I'm down if you have a
So look at
yeah.
that. Look at
Oh
that.
yeah, I've already got my list for that, so I'm ready whenever.
Nice.
I mean, it may still be a bit, but at least, hey, we got a panel now. I can move it up the list. So in the meantime, I've got some Coheed and Toadies I need to start studying, and
Oh,
Megadeth
so
on the other side of it too. So
yeah, man.
thank you guys so much for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Sure, it was great. I'm grateful that you picked me.
Hey man, you offered it up. I'm saying, like, John is proof positive. When I say put yourself up there, it will happen. I will make it happen. So I'm a man of my word. That's the one thing I can pat myself on the back about. But with all that being said, the Gaslight Anthem. Learn them and love them, people. We'll see you next week. Bye.